so there was this girl who had a flower, and she was trying to decide if this boy loved her. And so she would pick the petals off one at a time, saying, "He loves me, and he loves me not. And he loves me, and he loves me not." And the fate of her future was decided by this flower. And so oftentimes we treat God that way. If something good happens, then he loves us. And if something bad happens, then maybe he doesn't love us quite as much. I had an amazing childhood, and so I thought for sure God loved me. And my life kind of took a change, kind of a turn in February of 2008. My family decided to go on a family road trip, and we all piled into the car, and my dad was driving, and all of us were sleeping in the back. And as my dad was going over a hill, there was a truck that was pulling a trailer that didn't have its taillights on. And as we went over the top, we ran into them, which sent us spinning across the median into oncoming traffic, and we got hit by a semi-truck. I was in the back of the car. I remember waking up and looking out the side of my van where there should have been there should have been a wall, and I remember looking out and seeing darkness and hearing only the sound of the traffic, and I remember at that point the weight. There was just a weight on me. And after a couple minutes, some first responders showed up and asked if we were all okay, and they got my family out of the car and called for an ambulance or for an emergency helicopter to come and pick us up. They flew me to a hospital in Denver, and the whole way there they were pumping blood because I was losing blood. When I was out of surgery and I spent my first night in the hospital, I had no idea who in my family was alive, if any of them. The nurses weren't allowed to tell me. So that night I was probably the most broken that I had ever been. Physically, I had a broken pelvis. I had lacerations on my head and on my hands. They didn't think I would be able to walk again. I physically was at my lowest point. The next day, they took me over to Swedish medical hospital. They flew me to another hospital where I found out my mom was still living, and she was brought to my side, and they told me at that point that my dad and my older sister and my younger brother had been killed in that accident, and it was me and my twin sister and my mom left. Spiritually, trying to rationalize what I thought of God in that situation, what all the years prior, I was 15 years old, so the 15 years leading up to that, what I thought God was, comparing it to what I'm going through at this moment, they seemed to not go together.